I welcome you, dear friends, you on the channel Revolution of Consciousness out of microphone. Many of you who watches for my publications probably have already noted what is the forecasts are constantly forgotten. Yes, I have such talent. I is inclined to analyze and predict why all elementary friends I well know. Historical science thanks to the formations by training thinking. To the thanks to the Father I can assume that will to be created. The near future. Why? Yes, because all history moves on a spiral. All our country repeats now in a stage 4 world hybrid wars. More precisely, all planet is the such stages. All of us are at war. All are at war against all, and certainly on empire here has served. Why so I speak? Well, because if we take with you World War I for it a source, or more precisely as though the weapon of the mass defeats have served the chemical poison gases. The Second World War was noted spent on a nuclear bomb. The Third World Cold War by the small conflicts besides nuclear, the weapon, the nuclear weapon, the chemical weapon, the bacteriological weapon. Truth, well, not it has been applied but was in warehouses. Now the Fourth World War moves under the classical scenario of world wars, where weapons of mass destruction has served in general epidemics. Absolutely normal phenomenon to the nature. Let's not to forget with you that literally 100 years ago in that worldwide the Spaniard behaved violently, which has carried away from 50 to 100 million lives. That prevents to repeat to the nature same. Gadget's fluke is absolute anything. Many clever men speak that it is American provocation appear of the Yankee have started this. Breath, it's certainly the full people near and absolutely stupid in general. It is less. Listen, they which had that has got, and it does not depend at all on their popularity. Here I constantly include already such the advertised speakers on and understood that miles from full not. I will name their names, due conclusions. Independently I want in due time to you to brag, despite that had me not a large attendance never before. The forecasts was not mistaken. Tellin' what I was mistaken, send to me in comments with pleasure I esteem. So that we have for today. World financial crisis will serve final point in the fourth world. To hybrid war will fate lol. Economy, the industry will stop. Most likely the dollar will go when will go. When the dollar will go on waits. Economic and apocalypse, why therefore that all arrangements all will fail. Contracts it will be not clearer for what. To sell gas of oil of the weapon it is not clear. That will sell the goods of the industrial manufacturers and so on, so further. Americans certainly in the situation. There will be a prize indeed to the population. Compensate all costs having let out the new currency in the whole world anywhere will not get to. Why yes, because the whole world uses by the American technologies here it is admissible. Americans have restarted, there was a new. They make dollar iPhone and the software the Boeing to that. Similar they will tell want to fly on the Boeing by spare parts both they and all. The world is compelled to buy spare parts on this. The Boeing at Americans for their new currency also will buy their program. Maintenance also will buy them iPhone and will buy all American. I repeatedly told technologies that now the main source of profit is earth dwellers' natural resources, not industrial production. Now the main source there have arrived, friends. These are human brains and brains of Americans most of all. Therefore I predict a dollar collapse, but it will be not fast. I think that year 1.5 somewhere here in this range as to and here my favorite 3 themes too. For all of us waits inevitable, absolutely accident feeling it feel. You feel it, all sane people. Our countries, yes, give with you. Let's analyze that. Do ours. The government and world allocate $193 billion on business support. That is to such people as I that I could to pay in time. this recession to the workers of the salary, that I could repay credits that I could, to pay tick for gas for light for, the maintenance of service of banks and so, further, allocates 200 billion, 300 billion food of 300 billion, pounds sterling it's somewhere in, equivalent of 500 billion to 1 trillion. Allocates 44 trillion exactly. As much how many? Allocates 1 trillion you not. And only to bank system only to oligarchs. Sky and here this here tops in. With the general to allocate nothing therefore. That the bankrupt to that it will result. It will lead to that our currencies will lose any value already today. The dollar exchange rate has punched 79 rubles and euro 85. My forecast such the near future will be 100. Then to 150 that it will result to fall and by quantity in general. It is terrible the straight lines. Actions. Though it is terrible too I think that at us. Regularity will be in order of 5–10% if all over the world in area of 1.5–3. It is connected with that at us. It is absolutely destroyed medicine as science and manufacture of medicines. Them it is simple and simply it is not necessary here and more consequences of it will be terrible. Why? Because of a stop. World trading processes of logistics. We people have more than goods turnover. Will be lost from that will not be during time. Are delivered by accompanying a medicine I will remind you that for 18 years as well as and the Belarusian not, it is registered any modern medicines all medical products which they are made as us to the party are made from accessories from import accessories all import accessories they have stopped to us. Here go because all countries have concentrated the manufacture on to themselves all world powers worry about the people at us simply is not present at us because of that will rise. Economy people will elementary will not freeze it to come. Medical aid. Many are doctors and medical staff will be ill because they will be to be an epicenter of this infection and for what you undertook well even such very important fact that nobility is as elementary not a backpack. Elementary it is impossible cut suicide. People will worry very strongly for the children for the relatives. Relatives it is all will lead to heart attacks and strokes as well as is told to suicides very much many consequences. Certainly each death close to us. The person attracts irreversible consequences catastrophic. We are destabilized by us leave from. At us hands we fall we begin to panic it is peculiar to human nature and at all of us. Most terrible it collapses here that there will be despite all it on that at us full and then still predicted 1 month ago to wind off and please at all my rollers look wind off my rollers of your prescription by any prescription friends say about it told certainly not such eminent the foreigner as their nightingale which by the way on to sale epidemic infection spoke that the mankind has learned these to struggle as these companions constants or everyone both companions and any fraction authorities opinion the same of payments and in general also it is disappointed in the majority of those of a horseradish shoe of the con they so already record business that does not remember that they spoke the day before yesterday therefore to all I recommend on my channel want in general revolution and give to me of 10 million and at us will be 3 currencies for 10 million subscribers friends I will make without problems not anything to me of anything not that on what costs I know this process from within and so despite it enters date to vote for April 22nd it wants to push through it voting and many here question to vote threads to vote. No voting will exist at it. Our president it is delayed to understand that there are no chances to do that. That he wants all will not turn out well it is in position of delayed. The Soviet Union as or is admissible. Later it of late rain. The second where its desire bottom itself already represent nothing to it, the equal account. Baby's dummy, all it's simply talking head. Becoming stronger. Grinding that has gotten in paradise to rise and has accused for today of that we hide the real data of the diseased. And I think that in it already 10,000 persons in general in the hatch in any city where there is an underground there already 10,000 persons of the diseased are authorities. Speak there 100, 200, 300 it is pure. Also I declare you it officially not. I am afraid of arrivals 1024 it anymore does not play any rests. Any role because these companions, policemen which so convulsively in helmets defended protected our power. They all is fast in general. 70 workers, both officials and state employees all the same. Companions which with foam at the mouth protected. To all of you in the first stage there will be an ass why well. Because the ordinary free, the person of type me and kin for, on quarantine at home and apartment, to hide somehow them from village and the official will not leave anywhere is not present anywhere. He trusts there will be in an environment of people it will be a number costs we beat requirement. Infected that the most awful. It will die also, it will come to itself to a family and will die his parents understand here that. And all of us for it will pay the most awful with. You it is rigid and so despite. All on this the whole world is closed. All local the whole world on quarantine here. Curfew it all the same. Is going to spend on April 22nd it. Pseudo votings to go on it or not. Solve you I personally anywhere to go not. I gather because I consider this certificate sleepy I consider an antigen absolutely illegally and to participate in this circus. Personally I do not gather they gather to participate to game where it is impossible to look at cards I lived at. That is delirium to understand the idiocy. If I always called and I urge to enter you on voting and itself the near future I gather to participate if you so the boss God willing. Election campaign here all I agitate. Who by the way me sees. Please come to party and Apple there. Will see me I will be on lyrical to hold meetings. I think that we will change a situation in region and in the country but it already deviation and so coming back to a companion at it all. There is hands at it all collapses. All its desires are not executed absolutely not. It has entered into a zone cruel the most severe turbulence from which it certainly 100% does not leave certainly to it. On it to spit as their people will be. To go as they will vote as if I not to cling there an infection and it was visible. Even on its last here to it. Where he spoke to a monologue citizens not by type products here at here. It sat grinning a muzzle tried out. As the greengrocer acted Macron, as acted the Prime Minister. Look at these, at people also look at ours males. Anybody with such neglect bestiality, I will not be afraid this word contempted, concerns to own though. Today Sant has declared that now everyone meeting with will pass the test on for itself that it friends very strongly to worry believe their where he will not step all will be processed. The most expensive preparations they're the following. Disinfectants will guzzle now in tons. Preparations and the force to guzzle everyone entering to it well it. Anything to it the equal account will not give why. Because we will allow at last roller. I told you it can be and will escape. And here its nearest environment. Have transferred it all on redoc is not present and its most important thing from an environment it absolutely not replaced can. Replace it cannot replace. The fun phones which already they're all on 64 70 years it not can replace. It cannot replace the people which the authorities are at the helm on. The main posts exclusively thanking to it and thanks to personal communications with them. It not a condition it also is. Achilles heel the same to you I will tell Anne. About the nearest from the nearest in the near future. We become witnesses as or will die or such into do from. Who them would think of folders will die more likely. Them either immune system immune. The system is weakened they old. They all are already allocated by source all hours. and Belarus the Russian system is all. Aged men, this all people already become obsolete the century which cling as to the here the power the bony. Hence in any way do not want it to perish. To leave so the nature has made it will make. So all of them it is equal this power. To leave to disappear simply not. Where she them to understand it them you. Most anywhere it from each other not to get to. I spoke. They cannot work as a remote. Constantly it is necessary to meet to confer. To exchange words on and near confidentially. Because they live not in system. Laws not they live in system of the right. To system of personal relations and it not. Means remote dialogue. Therefore we is fast with you. Witnesses we remain with you the prelate. It here the late Soviet Union when back secretaries general or members died. The political bureau here exactly same at us. Will occur and then will die to die or hours. Presidents or members of the political bureau of that Security Council or the nearest environment and communications. With that they will not is replaced also all. The system will go to a rating I already spoke. That life reminds the Soviet. The Union in a miniature. The first epic gangster. Stalin it is 90 years the second deprecate. 92,000 second deprecate. Type Thokosivs to 3 Banchet Brezhnev stagnation which has ended. Here 5 years ago now we have entered in. The period on all converges. One and one has told history moves. On a spiral it is ours. People hid all power. Disappeared all information, all it was concealed. On radiation has moistened. It is black military men which with the naked breast. The wife this reactor simply to fill up. Its cement endowing the lives went. In this terrible radiation exactly same. I will do now physicians they will be. Victim the lives to help people and will start to perish in large quantities To perish the authorities it is absolute on all. We will have the same. Faults with foodstuff with. People cannot pay in medicines for. Because all money certainly will be spent for means of the first necessities at us the bank will fail. System because will cease to pay. Salaries because will cease to pay. The credit and consequently that will rise completely. All businesses which so hates considering on with swindlers and itself considering as the sacred person at us will be. Full accident therefore I all advised still 1 month ago go in a drugstore to buy medicines and buy a grub. Our retail speaks will suffice on 4 weeks on will suffice for 8 weeks yes I will suffice. To you I will tell till the autumn will suffice but in the autumn already on what will not suffice therefore. To all I advise to dig out a kitchen garden and to clamp a potato to remember. You understand and that all is very strong. We have relaxed and one who in it is guilty who. Vitamin and all of you are guilty, all of you who look at me are guilty all who. The 18th year. When voted for 70% and itself there was the spectator and the observer it. I saw is very glad that many of you recognized the error some rested. Tell now want strong. Hands want tell now the chief. Receive the chief has told until then. Yet there will be no political competition. Yet there will be no removability of the power of anything. Not will change in this fucking party. Nothing in and not in. Friends, it is already past stage and we will pass it ourselves have deserved that. That served now daily in. To perish 645 persons. I assure you the sum this figure will grow. Will grow 3 times, will die 20,000. Will die people in cities. Especially they're everywhere. Underground and stipulated it will be. Mass absolute because our country not in a condition to cope. This problem because all time. All were plundered by us stand. On a threshold of revolution of consciousness I to you. Spoke that we are on the threshold of revolution. Because I have it one creation view. Though and it is simply inevitable inevitably. We have no place to disappear we anyway with. You we will take rest partially. have deserved that it is necessary to recognize ourselves with you have chosen this way ourselves. We trusted in the kind Tsar. To leave on streets we have shaped to leave. On meetings we use state. The position many now the thin. The position on the internet to write a post in contact and schoolmates. Shine, 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 shine to work under. Though you will die there are no they on yours. Friends, I simply tell a panic as. It will be I personally I undertake all actions not to die unto you. I advise my dear subscribers exactly that. Most to make but not to avoid. Look at my rollers of monthly prescription. 6-month-old, 1-year-old, 2-year-old I. All his details there described again. Science historical it rather. It not I have thought up the studied process. Understand and already 1,000 historians 1,000. Academicians of the professor were signed by these. Processes this process of ours will occur right now. At all of us it is languid, as before would exchange nothing but, because has come, external source, external push financial crisis ours, our economy of the state system, all of them will hand because in the such idiocy to exist further. It is impossible understand friends. It is impossible it is delirium once again I call you. Once again I call you my dear. Friends think first of all of itself about. The families make active. The information field. Agitate talk to friends. Through call communicate. To warn them anybody about you and ours. The countries never will think and on you. But it on the other hand will not save them from death because they with us. There is in one boat and underwater. To understand and edit. Absolutely want at you a harmony and ranks. Daughter at you the signature it to spit. Will reach everyone will be. It is amazed more than 50% of a planet. Partially we had been ill we will develop immune system who that is possible. We'll wait a corresponding preparation from it to develop then I doubt but the majority of this survives. It will be people being on quarantine. The planet knows many epidemics and the plague. It both the cholera it and the mushroom the Spaniard as well as told so that the same. And the syphilis which behaved violently in darkness and smallpox and malaria and the only thing that rescued it only or personal hygiene or quarantine of other variants is not present for that to be secured against this the human crowds as much as possible isolate itself the native and relatives from the public because morons people go sneeze spit. People not people are spat to people more shortly. Moronic people are absolutely illiterate. It is absolutely uncontrollable also the uncontrollable. It is not brought up and here this all cattle wait. It will be rigidly punished for the voting for that they support for that it is absolute on the future of children and that it on the pensions for that the people on itself here for it all of us will pay. I hope you not against that because you will follow my counsel. I ask you subscribe for my channel. Put husky put necessarily. And bell now on the channel revolution. Consciousnesses. I will be. They daily on the channel. Besides I will be periodically. To spread rollers but because me YouTube has solved in every possible way any to monetization and a roller costs very expensively because it is necessary to contain the whole command of assemblers and I already will do operators much more less often. It is simple to me does not allow to make it financial assets at whom from this superfluous the kopeck is not present. It is necessary not on spent that a family I the best will make it free of charge here with the help here the such the banal air well mine. Dear friends keep all will be well still I will tell on any war it is possible. Whether to survive is up you there are brains we wait we will wait revolutions. Consciousness as with you as to new meetings while friends.